Hello, this is James Valley. I'm coming to you from my home. This is a Zoom video that's being live streamed on YouTube, and I intend to share in this video with you my thoughts on the upcoming mayor's race in Helena, West Helena, Arkansas. It's critically important that you participate in that race and that you be fully informed on the issues of the day, the things that we can say matter to you, and that you get a clear understanding of all of the relevant matters. I'm testing YouTube for the first time, and so I'm trying to work my way through how this works. And I appreciate your patience and your indulgence as I attempt to do this. I'm going to go over to my Facebook page and show a posting from one of the candidates, Mr. Christopher Franklin. And because this is YouTube, it may not be clear. Well, let me back that sound up. So that we're clear as to what is being communicated here. And then I want to blow it up as well. It's in 6 seconds. And so that was a posting that had been made by Mr. Christopher Franklin on his page, dealing with this election in particular, but more specifically with Mayor Kevin Smith having signed a contract. And that contract is for an excavator. And this time I'm going to share the contract so that we can focus in a little bit more on the contract itself. So I've blown it up. You got a full screen. And here at the top, it says opinion of counsel. And the purpose of this contract is to show that legal counsel has reviewed the contract, approved the contract, and that it is appropriate for the city to engage in this kind of activity. And so it reads opinion of counsel at top, then it comes down, sir or madam, I am an attorney for lessee. Well, if we go back to the regarding section, it says RE, governmental equipment lease purchase agreement, contract number, the lease, it says here, between the city of Helena, West Helena, Arkansas, lessee, and Caterpillar Financial Services Corporation, lessor. So the lessee is the city. And this is saying, I am attorney for lessee. So in this statement, the mayor is saying he is an attorney for the city of Helena, West Helena, and it looks as though he has, in fact, signed this contract, this statement. And I guess at some level, that should give you pause. That the mayor has engaged in that type activity. I'm going to go without comment. I'm going to go next to some other posts that I think are relevant to where we are in this community, and I just want to share a thought or two on some of those. And so as I'm getting ready, see if I can share the screen. This one here, share. And let's go to this post.
Call Mount Clinton County Sheriff, proof of service.
And that was Sandra Bagley endorsing Mayor Kevin Smith and laying forth her reasons for so doing. I had something playing that I didn't want to play in the background. If I can go to Don Etherly, he's posted on his page. If I could share the screen. There's the contract that the mayor signed, at least that one page. Then there's his post where I remember the time the mayor wanted to purchase an excavator. The equipment cost more than $125,000, and he did not have approval for the expense. He signed a certification that said he had the approval of the governing body. The craziest part was that he signed a portion to be signed by the city attorney, which said, I am an attorney. There are many stories like this, and it is why I support Christopher Fofo Franklin. And Don Etherly also posted 3 days ago, the following is an excerpt of a report delivered by the city treasurer on September 19th, 2022. The numbers are indefensible. These are just facts. And he tagged Christopher Franklin. But it reads in a relevant portion, the water department is delinquent to the sum of $930.94 in sanitation fees to the city. That's where the water company, each month you go in and pay your water bill, and part of your water bill is your sanitation fees, and the water company is supposed to take that money and provide it to the city for the general fund. The water company has not been doing that. The way this works, the water company is managed by the mayor and his department head, the water manager. Under the old system, there was a water commission, and the water commission managed the water company and hired a manager. We got rid of the water commission during the time that I was the mayor, because the municipal league informed us that we needed to have every important position accountable to the citizens of the community. That is to say, that the power needed to be vested with the citizens. So if something's going wrong or right with the city water company, the citizens have a voice. And that voice is, you elect your city council members every 2 years, and you elect your citywide officials every 4 years. And those people are responsible for making sure everything goes well. The city council is in charge of money and finance. But when we say in charge of money and finance, it's from a policy standpoint. They don't write the checks. They don't receive the money. They don't make out receipts. They are given a projection by the mayor, the treasurer, or the clerk. So we expect to have, let's say, $8 million this year. And then the city council appropriates that money and say, you can spend that $8 million in this way or that way. You can have this number of employees. You can pay them this much money. We set aside this much money for the street department to be used by the mayor at his discretion, and this much money for sanitation, for parks and recreation, police, fire, and the other host of things that the city does in city government. But this report goes on to say, the bottom line show that there's not enough cash flow to sustain the current level of spending by the mayor. And it concludes by saying, in agreement with the Arkansas Legislative Audit, this is not conducive to efficient, stable operations of the city. And so what this report sums up is that the mayor has been spending money in a way inconsistent with state law, in a way inconsistent with the best interests of the city, in a way that's not necessarily productive, conducive, or effective. That should cause you some concern. Now, I want to get to the point where I want you to understand a couple things about my feelings about who should be the mayor of Helena, West Helena. I've been asked by several people to publicly endorse Kevin Smith, and my dog trying to come in the house. Let me get her. Come on in. And so I was been asked to publicly endorse Kevin Smith, but I've also been asked to publicly endorse Christopher Fofo Franklin. And the people who are seeking an endorsement of Kevin Smith, they emphasize his strengths as being professional, dignified, and an accomplished person, that he has not acted in the ways that have brought shame or dishonor to our city. His behavior is good behavior. It's the essence of it. They also talk about this hopeful spirit that they have about Mayor Smith, in that they believe we're right on the cusp of great things happening in Helena, West Helena. And I take them at their word. I believe every word they say. I really do. I take them at that. But you know, when I was in high school, 17, 18 years old, I recall because my mother had a public business. She was a beautician, cosmetologist. She worked on what was called the car line in what was West Helena at the time. It was on the black side of town. For those of you all who don't remember, there was a black side to West Helena. And it was over there near First Baptist Church, and that building, it burned in 2010 during my last year as the mayor. My brother Lorenzo died in that fire. And my mother basically retired from cosmetology. She does a little bit at her home of a few people that she's been doing their hair for a number of years. But in that beauty shop, and then down the street at our home, there was this constant ringing. There was this constant discussion of the Slackwater Harbor and what it was going to do for Helena, West Helena, and how these great things were going to happen. We were going to have 30,000 new jobs, and it was going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we were going to increase our population by so many people, and all of those great things that were going to happen. And as I sit here today, it's been 35 years. We've had any number of mayors, because we had two back then. We had one in Helena, one in West Helena. It's been any number of mayors. I don't know who was the mayor at the time that happened. I know we've had in West Helena Walter Morris. We had Bob Teeter. We had Riley Porter, Johnny Weaver. Then in consolidation, you had James Valley. And then in Helena, if you go back, you can go back to Salmon Brocada, Joanne Smith, and Robert Miller. And then consolidation, the city's joined as James Valley, followed by Arnell Willis, followed by Jay Hollowell, followed by Kevin Smith. But what I want you to understand about all these promises about hope, about our future, about things that are going to come to pass if we get the right people in office, is that that's the same song, just a different verse. We've been singing since 1950, and we've been losing population since 1950. And nobody knows the answer, because if they did, we will have solved this problem by now. But it's not giving people false hope, because people are moving away from here, in part because it's difficult to be here, but then also they don't feel like they got real hope. People always telling them that they can do more than they can do. They can accomplish more than they can accomplish. And then when it doesn't come to happen, people just believe that the system is flawed because people have lied to them. We have these false expectations. It's just like the county jail. We built the county jail because it was going to decrease crime. It was a lie from the beginning. It was nothing but a money gamble. It just took money out of one pot and put it into a different pot, but it did nothing for crime. How does it do anything for crime? It's a jail. It's not a prison. People don't go to jail forever. People go to jail temporarily. Most of the people who are in jail are people who can't afford to make bail. See, when citizens complain, people go to jail and get right back out. They don't understand that that's the way the system works. That what they're saying doesn't make sense. You went to jail and got right back out. You're supposed to. That's how it works. You get in the shower, you get right back out. You go to a restaurant to eat, you come right back out. You don't move into the restaurant, you don't move into the shower, and you don't move into the jail. Now, if you go to prison, that's different. But jail. So all of these communities that building jails are rewarding contractors and architects and political aspirants. But it ain't doing nothing for your community. You ain't no more safe because you got a jail in your yard if you don't have one. You're not. That has nothing to do with safety. Ain't nobody in jail afraid to go to jail. They ain't. Most people go for a little while. Most people go one time. Jails are not profit-making industry. They just don't. Period. The county jail that we built, unlike they did in Forest City, which I don't think Forest City did it right either, but unlike what they did in Forest City, they tore down their old jail. There's a vacant lot there. We still got our old jail standing. Two of them, matter of fact. One of them is part of our courthouse, and one of them right behind the courthouse. We got two old jails. We don't even use them. We just stupid. Now, I said all that to say, don't get into this old false hope about how things ought to be. What's going to happen if you elect the right guy? Hell, I've been one of those right guys. And it is a difficult thing to try to create jobs in a small community with a small budget. What you can do is undergird those people who are creating jobs. And perhaps we can move to a point where you get your local banks to help people who are willing to open businesses. We are cash starved. We need people trained to operate a business and who understand all other parts of operating a business. And we need them to have capital and equity and financing such that they can be successful. Many times people go into business with an idea, but don't have a full business plan. We need to help people develop the business plan where their businesses can be successful. But I digress. And I'm going to stop.